don't quite get that, but yeah, it is what it is at this point. Hey everybody, welcome back to Mrs. Rattlecan's house. I am James. Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of an attic that is a pain in my keister. Let's recap really quickly if you're just now tuning into the channel. We bought this house, a 1955 ranch. This house was inspected by a local home inspection agency. The report came back that there was blown cellulose fiberglass or blown cellulose insulation in the attic. I then asked during the inspection process, what do you think the chances are that we have vermiculite? He goes, there's none up there, I don't see it. And it's usually a commercial application in this part of the country, blah, 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 blah. After we closed, we are now getting ready to do the work on the attic because the insulation is old and busted, and we're going to remove the insulation. So in typical DIY fashion, I start removing the trunk line, and as I am removing the very last piece of trunk line, I put my hand down, I miss the joist and go into the space between, and instead of hearing nothing as my hand hits a full layer of blown in cellulose insulation, I hear a crunch. I instantly know what that is. I peel back just probably about a 3-inch layer of blown in cellulose, and lo and behold, there is vermiculite insulation in the attic. So we do the prudent thing. Well, there's actually 2 prudent steps that we did. Number 1, we solicited bids for the removal of this. We also sent a sample in to the Zonolite Trust because we knew that the majority of vermiculite insulation was installed in houses came from one particular mine in Montana that happened to have a asbestos vein running through it, and it tests positive for asbestos. So we sent that off to them, and while we were waiting for those results to come back, we had people come in and look and bid the project out. One of them suggested that we send a sample in to see if it really was asbestos containing or not. Those results came back. It did contain asbestos, but it contained asbestos at a less than 1% level, which meant that when it had to be removed, it avoided some of the federal oversight from the EPA and our state health department, I guess is who oversees that. It's still asbestos. It can still kill you. So you still have to take many of the same precautions, but you just kind of escape some of the oversight. So when the bids came in, we looked at them. One of the bids we decided to go with. They were a larger company. They have been established in our area for a number of years doing abatement, and we felt like that on a job that was going to be this big, it would be nice to have a company that had the reserves and the experience in order to do this, as the other 2 companies were much smaller, and one of them was a new upstart. So we contracted for them to come and do the removal. I asked them on the day that they would show up to work, the first thing that I would need before they did anything was a copy of their license, a copy of their insurance. If anyone was licensed to do asbestos removal, I needed copies of those licenses. So I got a nice big fat stack of paperwork on the very first day. So they were supposed to come in on a Thursday, set up the barriers, take off the plywood decking. Then they were scheduled for 4 days of material removal. Then they were scheduled for a final day of cleanup and then air testing at towards the end of that day. Once the results came back that told us our air was good or no good, we would proceed from that. So It was a Thursday, Friday, 2 days off for the weekend, 3 days for the removal, and then on the following Thursday they should be finishing up. Thursday comes, I'm here at 8 o'clock. Nobody rolls in. 9, 9:15, 9:30, so now I'm shooting emails. 10 o'clock rolls around, now I'm on the phone, and I get the story that one of their vehicles has been hit en route to the job, and that the 2 guys that were headed our direction were in the hospital. You know, you don't wish that kind of stuff on anybody, and you always give people the benefit of the doubt. So he said he would be over there personally. This is the guy running the job coordinator. Said that he would be over at 1:30 to fit my schedule, and that he would be doing some work. So day number 1, he comes over for a couple hours, sets some barriers up. There's day number 1. He said the crew will be back. He said that he'll send a crew in the next day. I'm there early in the morning to open the house up. The crew shows up. One person. One person doing what they can do. Continuing to seal off the house so that should anything fall down through the ductwork or through the return air vents, it's not going to contaminate the living area of the house. And then that person would be removing some of the decking. That was the second day on Friday. Saturday and Sunday, nothing's going on. Monday, I got one person again. There's only so much one person can do. At this point, I should probably mention my house is 2,200 square feet, and it's a ranch, so it's all of 2,200 square feet plus the garage, and it's insulated as well. So one person again, what they can do, and this is just one person showing up with what they have in their vehicle. We do get on let's see, Tuesday we get a second person. They're gonna go and they're gonna get the big suckalux to take the insulation out. I come back at 3 or something to close the house up, and they're like, yeah, we did what we could do. We got the vacuum here and it didn't work. So now I'm down Friday, Monday, and Tuesday for a lot of work. This is suddenly starting to not look good to wrap up on Thursday. Wednesday, I get 2 more people to show up, again, doing what they can do. Thursday, I finally get 4 people. I'm somewhat dismayed because the equipment they're showing up with is from a local rental company. One of the reasons we went with an established company is established companies generally have got their own equipment and they're not dependent on what's available in the rental market. That's just my 2 cents worth. Friday I did have 4 people again. Then Saturday I had 2 people. And then Sunday I had 2 people. And then Monday I had 2 people. And then Tuesday I was down to 1 person. And then Wednesday I was down to 1 person for half a day. They did the air sampling on Wednesday in the afternoon. So waiting for the results on Thursday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday. Technically I'm not supposed to be in the house because we don't know whether they've cleaned the air correctly or not. So during this time I'm pushing off my electrician guy, I'm pushing off my HVAC guy, I'm pushing off my carpenter guy, because we can't go up into the attic because of what's, the activity that's going on in the house. We can't not really supposed to be in the house because, again, it's less than 1% of asbestos, but it's still asbestos, and you know what? That's a horrible way to die. Monday, late morning, I do get the job coordinator come in and provided me with the results. The air tested good. So he's clearing up all his stuff to get out of there, and that was a week and a week and 4 days over schedule. Now our attic looks much nicer. There are some areas where, well, I don't know, maybe I would be a really great foreman, or maybe I'd be a really horrible foreman, because there are some things that I probably would have taken care of or at least brought to the attention of the homeowner. That's me, and I'm not in this business. Now, I don't know how much money they're going to make on this deal, or if they're actually going to make a lot of money on this deal, because those big rented pumps that they had, they sat in my garage for 3 days, not being used, but they're still having to pay for them. That's bad scheduling. So I don't know if there was a squeaky wheel somewhere else. I don't know if they just didn't have the depth, if it's the busy time of the year and they were spread too thin, if the job got underbid as far as man hours. I don't know. I just know that it went over a long time, but now it's done, and now we've got work to do, because now the electrician's been up and he's looked and he's given me a list of things to do. The HVAC guy, there were 2 of them up there with me yesterday, and we made some decisions about what we're going to do, and now we're just waiting for numbers to come back as far as what our options are. So now you're up to speed. And as long as it's taken me to do this video, it feels like 10 million times that, waiting for this job to get done so that I could get up there and we could get other things done, because when it starts to get really hot again, and it's just the beginning part of August, it's still going to get stinking hot here in the next 3 or 4 or 5 weeks. I've lost my Mrs. Rattlecan helper, because she said, you know, I'm all for working in this house, but I'm not going to do it when it's miserable. And right now, with no insulation, the house gets really hot. Now you're kind of up to speed with the attic, and you can kind of see what's going on. And could we have done a better job vetting the company? I don't know. You know, we asked our questions, we checked our, the sources that we could. Could it have just been, a sad collision of circumstances? Possibly. Could it have been bad scheduling? Possibly. Could it have been, just the bad juju? It could have been. I'm not here to browbeat anybody. I'm here to if you're going to do something like this, maybe you'll learn something from this, that we didn't do right, or that we could have done differently. I'm not sure. I'm just kind of sharing it. So anyways, that's what's going on. Hey, be sure to comment down below the sermon notes, and because we love hearing from you guys. We love the interaction that goes on in the comment section. And be sure to subscribe. And if you know somebody that would enjoy watching a knucklehead like me work on this house, then be sure and share that with them and tell them about the site, and follow us on Facebook. You guys have a great weekend. Cheers.
If you enjoyed watching this episode of Mrs. Rattlecan's House, consider checking out this video. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, and to get the latest updates on our progress, like us on Facebook. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.
Absolutely should have some wine.